Okay, we're doing another video on recreating ball pit. Also, I just realized I went 2 videos without addressing, but yes, my project is called Balls Deep for copyright purposes. Anyway, so what we want to work on today, we've got the arena moving, we've got the basic layout, one-to-one. So we want to start launching some balls now. I'm gonna close all my tabs. And we need a couple scripts. So I want a ball launcher, which is going to exist on the player, and then it's going to actually fire the balls. And we also need a ball movement script so that the balls know how to move, and these are going to work interactively. And the ball movement script is basically just going to be there to emulate the or simulate the physics. So for this, we want to make sure we, come on, well, it already knows. Rigid body, rigid body. Get the rigid body on awake. And the ball launcher, we need a instance of the baby ball prefab. So CLS field, private. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's I do want to have a script for the balls themselves, and the ball movement is just going to be like a component of it. Actually, you know what? We're going to refactor ball movement. We're just going to make this a ball class. Okay. Ball, baby, ball, prefab. Okay. And then things that we need config. Actually, put a config directory here and add that to refactor, move to folder. Okay, those are moved to the config folder. We're going to refactor their namespace. Okay. So the player config or the game config. I think in the game config, we're going to have okay, I am overthinking this. I'm just going to put this in the player config for now. Now we'll have field to field. I want to have ball move speed. Let's call this ball velocity. Base velocity, because they kind of move faster with passives. So, and I'll set this to like 25. Sure, why not? Okay. So then the ball launcher also wants a reference. Or do we? No, because the ball launcher only cares about the direction. So in here we're gonna want to have like a public void set direction, and it's gonna be a normalized vector that we're putting in there. And here in the ball we're gonna have private player config, And then we want to do is rigid body dot linear velocity equals direction dot normalized times player config dot ball base velocity. Okay, and then the ball launcher. Whoa. My dog is gulping water. He's distracting me. All right, so also what we want to try to do, we want to get the aim direction. So what we need to do is figure out our mouse position, figure out its position relative to the world, and then get a planar direction from the launch origin to the mouse. Interesting. It gives me a launch option. Okay. Interessante. I think I actually want this to be private though. Okay. I'm gonna do a public try get aim points. And what we're gonna do is to mouse. What the hell? Okay, I think that will work. And here we're going to private camera, main camera. Instead of doing that. The only reason I do that is because there's a property redirection that happens and it's just slightly non-performant, so I like caching it. All right, let me just double check this because this was AI auto suggested. It'd be really cool if it actually worked. Okay. So that's not bad. Wait, why is it? Hold on a minute. Oh yeah, so I'm not doing that. Okay. So then what I need here is, this can actually be private. Then I want to have a private vector3 get aim direction. So default to forward, and if we get a point, then we want to get the difference vector. Do you want to use this transform, or do we want to use an arbitrary transform? I kind of want to do an arbitrary transform. So let's do serialized field private transform. We'll have this as the launch origin. Then launch origin. What? Oh, boy. Oh, chill. If it's a non-zero vector, then we normalize it. Then what we got to do is we can return aimdir, but like I'm gonna put like a to-do here real quick. Clamp between, because I think what's gonna happen is if we do, like, for example, do like debug, draw a line. Yeah, if we do that, should be able to see it. Sorry, I took notes. I'm just updating them. So we need to actually try to fire the ball now. Okay, so actually this is gonna be launch baby ball. And spawn position. Oh yeah, I think we also want to spawn it off our body because the recycler is going to be an overlap with our capsule. So what we want to do is aimdir equals get aim direction var spawn position equals launch origin plus aim direction times I think that'll be fine. What? Oh. Oh, doy. Okay. So we want to have this spawn at the spawn position. And then for the ball movement, we want to set its direction to the aim direction, right? Pretty sure, yes. So we got that. So we instantiate that ball. Then we want to, oh, I'm so silly. We don't want this here because we want to use aim direction. Right, okay. So we want a fire interval. So I think that's going to be in the player config. We want to have a public float ball fire interval get private set. Let's just set it to like 0.1. Why not? And the ball launcher, just gonna do private void update, private float time since fire. Okay. I probably want to have a private bool is firing equals, we'll set it to true for now, but I want to, you want to turn off the ball launcher, have the capacity to turn it off. So I'll say if not is firing, then we'll return. I'll say time since plus equals times at delta time. Then we're going to say if fire is greater than or equal to player config. Oh, we don't have that. Fire interval, then we want to launch baby ball, reset that. Okay. All right, let's try that. So on this player, I'm also going to put this ball launcher on it. But for the player, we also want to create an empty. We're going to call this ball launch origin. The reason I want this separate is because I want this to be coplanar with like the center of mass of the enemies. So I want this to be, excuse me. -1, negative 0.5. Okay, so that'll make the balls about there. Also want to create tools, Pro Builder, editor, create shape, sphere. Shape properties. Okay. That looks like about a good size. Let me actually, the balls look about this. looks like a pretty much dead ringer. Maybe about like a half meter or so. Maybe a little bit less. No, I think that's pretty dead on. Yeah. That's the right size. Oh, that's why it looks a little bit bigger, because it's actually... If I made this a child of the ball launch origin, then zeroed it out, then unparented it, moved it forward. Hi, puppy dog. Yeah, that's dead on. That's it right there. That's the baby ball. Okay, you go bye-bye. You go to 0. I'm going to put you there. I'm going to put baby ball script on you. Player config will go there. And then I'll prefab you out to baby ball. Get rid of you, then the ball launcher, need the ball launch origin, player config, baby ball prefab. Okay, let's see. Ah, my foot's asleep. So we're gonna turn off this raw image for now, see how this looks. Invalid operation, okay. You're trying to read input using unit engine. Oh, doy. Yeah, because I'm using new input. Right, it has to be mouse.current.position.read value. That's what you have to do for new input. Almost. It's like you get there, you feel like you're in a situation where you might one-shot something, and it's always just like a little silly caveat. Okay. Oh, concave mesh colliders are not supported when using dynamic rigid body components. Based. Also, if you notice, I am applying gravity on them, which is not something that we want. Okay. So don't use gravity. It's not going to be kinematic because I want to react to collisions. We're just going to be applying our own velocities manually. I'm going to freeze rotations because I just don't want it having anything imparted like that. Layer is going to be player projectile. And, oh, yeah, we want a convex mesh hull. Oh, we don't even need the, remove the mesh collider. We're going to add a sphere collider. So we don't need complex polygonal BS. Okay. Exit prefab mode, yes. Bloop, bloop, bloop. So the reason this is happening is because we're not applying any kind of collision-based logic, so it's just hitting the walls and getting stuck or sliding along. Also, you see we're able to pass through this here. I think that's because we're not interpolating. That's an easy fix. So, oh, baby ball. I want to interpolate continuous collision detection. Looks like some stuff is still slipping through. I think that might be due to the... Oh yeah, we've got non-convex hulls here. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to alter the arena segment, because these are all cubes at the end of the day, so we can just put box colliders on these. We don't need mesh colliders. Remove component, box collider, remove component. So Pro Builder, they put mesh colliders by default just because it's arbitrary shapes, but yeah, there's no reason to tax performance. It also makes it more difficult to collide with. Not more difficult, but more complex. And you'd have to use a convex hull, and it has to use more complex logic, which is more expensive logic. Okay. So you see here, this is something that we'll have to account for, but I'm not going to do that right now, which is I can fire in all directions, whereas in the game ball pit, you're sort of clamped between a min and a max angle. Hi, puppy. Which actually, if I was smart, I would have set this raw image to show the min and max angle, but I'm not smart. So that's fine. That's fine. Where are we at for recording time? We're at 27 minutes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the logic for reflecting, and then we're going to do the refinement of the ball stuff, as well as putting a aiming reticle and a launch path guide. That'll be the next video. Okay. Oh, were we seeing this debug draw line, by the way? Huh. Wonder why. Anyway. In the ball class here, what we want to do is we want to check for collisions, and private void on collision enter. We're going to say var reflected velocity equals vector 3 reflect, and I think I want to take its current velocity other dot contacts. Oh, hold on. I want to say contact point array contacts equals other dot contacts. All right, so we only care about the first contact. There's a contact.normal. And set direction, excuse me. All right. Hi, puppy. You're putting big sighs out. I can hear you in the background. My puppy is very needy. Okay. Who's that pup? So essentially what this is doing is it's just reflecting its velocity over the contact normal, and we're doing something wrong. I think it's because I'm doing actual collisions. So what I need is I see. Okay, yeah. So what I want to do is I want to set a desired direction. I want to make that a variable. Yes. And then for the collisions, sorry, one sec. Okay, so I think what I want to do is I have a desired direction that it wants to go, and then I reflect its velocity. I would say like desired direction equals I think wait, no, what I want is the last reflected velocity I think that might be it. Because we're reflecting the direction that we want to go to over the contact normal, which should invert it. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's getting stuck though. Why are you getting stuck? That's very interesting. Oh, whoa. I also just noticed this. Should I not be... My dog is spazzing out. I already took you on a walk, puppy. Player and enemy should be colliding. Maybe that's one. I'm so confused. Oh. The player is not on the player layer. Okay. Okay, well, we've got a slight bug. We've got the ball launching working though. The speed looks relatively correct. So yeah, we'll call it here for this one, and we'll fix the bug and also implement the constraints for the firing on the next one. All right, take it easy.